I very clearly remember I knew that I was committed to death. It was a very subconscious, unconscious result of my upbringing and conditioning and programming. But I was so seeking a way out. Like I wanted out of this reality.
Welcome back, Envisionaries, to the Dream into Being podcast, where mind science, transformational psychology, and magic all merge into one. If you're ready to dream again and transcend the inertia of what you've known, then I invite you to join me, your host and Envisioneer, Kat Divine, in expanding the boundaries of your own Fantasia by remembering that you are the master you've been waiting for.
At certain points in my life, I made different choices going back to my identity. There was a spiritual teacher that had shared something that, was very, very crucial for me to make a choice. And she said that we're only ever committed to one thing at a time, one experience at a time as far as our intentions. And she said, if you're having trouble with your life to this degree and you don't know if you want to go on, that there's a very good chance that you have not decided, or you don't even know what you decided of, are you committed to life or are you committed to death? And it was such an eye-opener for me. I didn't even know that that was an unconscious choice that I had made. And let's see, when was that? I want to say that was almost a decade ago, which was around the time that I started making different decisions. And I very clearly remember I knew that I was committed to death. It was a very subconscious, unconscious result of my upbringing and conditioning and programming. But I was so seeking a way out. Like I wanted out of this reality, and I was going after it in ways that were just so incredibly self-destructive until I made a new choice. And I did. As soon as it became clear to me that there was a choice to be made, I did choose to be committed to life. And what's really interesting is I made that choice out of curiosity. I was like, well, okay, I know what being committed to death looks like. I know what kind of life you can have if that is your ultimate end game. So yeah, if anything, I was just very curious. What could my life look like differently if I was committed to life? What choices would be different? What identity would be different? What experiences would be different? And wow, little did I know that that was probably the beginning phases of a spiritual awakening that did take place, that completely just rewired the whole operating system to the point where I actually do feel like I was a very different person before the awakening to now. And probably everybody in my life would have to agree. That was a turning point. And I will say that what happened was I just started lining up with such different information, and I started attracting very different types of people in my life, very different types of healers. And it was like one after another, after another, after another. I just started discovering this whole other universe of possibilities of people that just thought very, very differently than mainstream Western medicine. And gosh, I've been kind of rewriting my own programming, because I will say I was very invested in the Western medicine philosophies and ideologies. I mean, I was deep in it. I thoroughly believed if I didn't take 28 drugs a day, that I wouldn't survive. I mean, talk about a severe extreme. That is how much fear was running through my system, is that I actually believed that to be true. And ultimately, I just want to leave you with is to know that there is a choice to be made. Are you committed to life or are you committed to death? Are you committed to love or to fear? That's really the only choice that we ever have to make about anything. And I'm so incredibly grateful that I chose a life path. I actually do believe that we do choose all of our plot points in life. And I'm so grateful that I did choose this one, even though it has been so incredibly difficult. It has cultivated things in me that I know I could not even access unless I had to go through some of those deep, dark, scary places. And so, although I don't think I would want to do it again, I am incredibly grateful for the lessons that I've gotten to pull through, and that I am now on this other side of the adventure where, not that I have manifested my full healing quite yet, but I'm at least in the position to reach my hand out and start offering some support and love and encouragement to anybody else who is on that path as well. And I think the thing that is the most amazing to me is that I've still, even though my life is not what I would prefer, I'll be completely honest, I still spend the majority of my time in my working from bed, working from my laptop in bed, or sitting here making videos. However, I actually do envisioneering almost daily now, seeing myself in this new future where my body is just thriving and so healthy and so alive, and that I get to participate in life the way that I want. So I know those days are coming, and it feels really good to feel that confident for the first time in my life that that is what is ahead for me. I really was in so much fear before that I couldn't even conceive or comprehend that that was even a possibility. So I'm going to conclude by saying, if you or somebody that you know is going through their own healing experiment journey, to just know that it is so sacred. It is so beautiful what you're going through. And if you could just put down the hammers and release any of the guilt or the shame that you might feel in this journey, to know that this is not going to last, that this is only for a season, only for a cycle, and that you are not going to be here forever. To know that there is something incredibly exquisite and beautiful ahead, and that the only thing there is for you to do is to make that choice between fear and love, between life and death.